You ever see stuff you can't explain?
This came from somewhere else.
Oh, fleet of them, they're all going against the wind.
Life elsewhere in the universe is virtually a certainty.
CIA monkey business.
That was awful strange.
Hey guys.
Hello.
We're here. We're talking about
What's our name?
aliens.
What's
Take me to your dealer.
I'm Talia,
I'm Laura.
and we're going to talk today about the recent Pentagon UFO videos.
Oh yeah. Those wild things. They're just running around in the sky, really pissing us off, you know? Really being little teases.
Yeah, they are. This is it's 3 videos released to the public in 2017. You might have seen them. They were in a massive New York Times article that's kind of jump-started this like new wave of UFO reporting that we're seeing constantly in the media. It
Right.
was confirmed by the Pentagon in 2020, and they actually later released the videos officially.
Yeah.
So they're completely legitimate videos that the government has been investigating.
They literally couldn't deny it.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing they could say to be like,
Yeah.
oh, we don't know what that is. Maybe a weather balloon. Maybe
know.
a bird. Maybe
Yeah.
like they couldn't. It was just irrefutable, positive evidence, super credible sources.
They're visual recordings. It's infrared data of objects seen by fighter jets based off of the USS Nimitz off the coast of San Diego, as well as the USS Theodore Roosevelt off the East Coast.
Hell yeah.
2014, 2015, respectively. So you might see them referenced as like the Nimitz videos, the Roosevelt videos, maybe even the Princeton videos. They're also called the Fleur, the Gimbal, and the Go Fast videos.
The Go Fast is my favorite title. Go Fast. It go fast.
It's the most imaginative. I like that one a lot.
It did go fast.
It went so freaking
It was
fast.
super fast. They were just like, go fast. I don't know. They didn't know what to call it.
They were originally released to the press by a man named Luis Elizondo. We will talk about him a lot in the future. He was the former head of ATIP, which we will also probably do a whole episode on. Stands for the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program.
ATIP.
This sounds crazy. It's an unclassified and unpublicized investigation program. Here's the thing, though. It was funded by the U.S. government. This is a government-run program specifically designed to study UFOs and UAPs.
Didn't they deny it, or wasn't it called something else before?
They changed the name.
Yeah.
They were like,
it wasn't
no,
always ATIP.
So no one really knew it existed for a while because
Yeah.
it started in 2007. It wasn't made public in 2017, but they were like, oh, we haven't had that program for like 5 years. No worries. But
Yeah.
they totally have. There's been $22 million invested into this program and that we know of.
Okay, wait.
And
So
then they changed the name.
it became public in 2017.
Yeah.
So that's when Luis Elizondo, so he was head of that, right? He resigned in 2017.
Yeah, he said, you guys have to fucking start telling people what's going on out here. This is ridiculous.
Right.
And they were like, like specifically in relation to these videos, he was like, this is terrifying. We have to show people. And they just refused. The government was like acting like it wasn't a big deal, and he just lost it. And this is the head of this program and showed it to the media.
They had probably some, what they thought are good reasons, security issues and defense, blah, blah, blah. But he joined the To the Stars Academy, right? The Tom DeLonge.
right.
He like became the director of global security and special programs there.
Yeah.
So he's just hanging with Tom.
Just decided
Dude,
to...
it's just wild that Tom DeLonge is like the most influential figure. Like one of the most influential figures in terms of like UFO disclosure. Like what the hell timeline is this? What are you talking about?
Why is he the smartest man in the room now?
Just because he was interested. I was just interested in it.
He did a lot of good research.
Yeah, he did. Can't stay mad.
So these videos, the objects in these videos, they basically completely warp our understanding of aerodynamics. Like they don't function the way
Physics,
that anything is
reality,
supposed to function.
God help us all.
They're clearly in the video using non-reactionary field propulsion systems. What that means is basically like everything we have uses a propeller in the air and in the ocean. We need fuel, and you can like see exhaust coming off of these craft.
They have like heat signatures.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And whatever these objects are, they have none of that. They are clearly using a different type of medium to get around.
Would you say anti-gravitational propulsion?
Yeah, personally, I would.
That's what I would say. That's what Bob Lazar would
looks
say.
like to me. It's what
He
it
was
looks like to
right.
Lazar.
Yeah, the ships are just like, get out of my way, gravity.
And yeah, so if anyone who doesn't know, Bob Lazar claims he used to work at the Area 51, and he's been talking about anti-propulsion systems
been
seen
saying
in
this
craft
shit,
for
yeah.
30 years. And here it is.
Here we go.
So you'll notice them in these videos, they like can turn on their side and move against the wind, like the wind that's going 120 miles an hour, and they just shoot right past it. Just
Yeah.
nothing.
So that kind of discredits the whole weather balloon like excuse, right? Like they can't really say that anymore.
They're also actively jamming radar.
Oh yeah.
An act of war.
That is an act of war.
So this is not to be taken lightly.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. But I don't really think that it's totally vicious. I think that they're just trying to be like, yo, just let us be. Like, I'm sorry, you know? Like, I'm sorry that we exist. Huh?
That's like alien sympathizer shit
Yeah.
are you talking about right now?
I totally sympathize. I don't think that it's an act of war. I think they're just like, stop looking at us.
They're
you
like
know?
flying around our military bases and bumping into our pilots.
Well, it matters to them. You know, they're just making sure that we're on our shit.
Okay,
you know?
well, there's a lot of reasons that make these most likely the most credible UFO reports we've ever had, including lots of video footage, radar evidence. I mean, these are very credible witnesses coming out for this stuff, like high-ranking military members.
Yeah, it's not like Jim Bob on his cornfield. Like
It's not like Bob Lazar.
No, Bob Lazar is totally credible. I believe him 100%. But, you know, it's just there's usually when somebody's like telling a story of seeing a UFO or being abducted, they're like doing a lot of meth.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of meth involved in their story,
be.
which like fine, you know.
You could do
I like
meth
to
and also
party.
see a UFO.
You know, I get it. But
I mean, it's also the fact that there's so many witnesses. It's not just that they're high ranking, but that you'll have one UFO report with like 60 people have seen it.
oh yeah.
in the military, and they all are like, oh yeah, no, we were all there, we all saw it. So I mean, there's that. There's also like so much documentation, like the paper trail for all this stuff in the government is huge. I mean, we've been tracking it for decades.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to start describing the first?
All right, the Nimitz. Let's talk about that Nim-It's.
Yeah, so the
Otherwise known as the
Fleur,
Fleer.
Flare,
Fleur.
Flare,
Flare.
Flyer.
Flower.
The USS Nimitz encounter, the USS Princeton encounter, the Fravor encounter, all that.
Yeah, David
all the
Fravor.
above. Basically, it started on November 14th, 2004 off the coast of San Diego.
Hold on. Let's talk a little bit more about Fravor. So like he was a Navy fighter pilot for 18 years.
Yeah,
this is not just like some guy.
No,
you know,
for
he was
18 years. He says that he went to Top Gun, that he has basically every single qualification you can get in an airplane is what he says. Like he's the guy.
Yeah. You don't just like become a Navy fighter pilot. Like
No.
it's incredibly difficult.
Yeah, I saw he did some interview where he said that he was like out of a squadron of, what did he say, like 6,000, he's in the top 20.
Yeah.
Like he is one of the head
So
guys.
he's like a serious guy.
Yeah.
And he also defended Los Angeles after 9/11.
Yeah, he's
So
a hero.
I would do him.
Okay, well, great. I'm sure he'd love to hear it. So for 2 weeks leading up to this specific incident, actually, the USS Princeton, it's another aircraft carrier, with, for the record, one of the best radar systems in the Navy, had been tracking multiple objects out here in the ocean off the coast of San Diego. They basically would start out at about 80,000 feet, just like coming from freaking space or something, and then drop down.
Coming from the heavens above.
Right, yeah. Drop down straight towards the ocean and then hover about 20,000 feet, hang out for a few hours, and then shoot right back up into space again.
Yeah.
And they would appear as just tiny blips in the radar. The radar can't actually track them. And they would always be between midnight and noon the next day, always overnight. And training exercises normally are between noon and midnight. So they basically were like not concerned about them. They were like, we can't track them.
Were
We
like
don't know what they are. They're coming at night.
the schedule almost.
Right.
It was like they were very aware of what we were doing, and they were interested in that and kind of acting accordingly.
And I guess all of our top, smartest, most official military members said, since this happens when we're sleeping, it's not my concern. And they didn't.
Oh, okay.
They didn't really care about it. So
thank you, sir.
2 weeks later, November 14th, Commander Fravor is among a carrier strike group carrying out a training exercise. It's basically like, he explains it's the whole squadron. So it's multiple aircraft carriers, cruisers, support ships, the whole deal's out there. It's them and the Marines, and they're training as an air defense exercise. So it's basically like good guys, Navy versus the bad guys. Today are the Marines. They're the red team versus the blue team. And they're just like going up there and trying out all their maneuvers.
Yeah, just doing Navy fighter pilot shit, you know?
Yeah. So everything's going according to schedule. Marines take off first. And once the pilot gets up there, Control starts asking a bunch of super weird questions, like how much fuel does he have and what kind of weapons they have.
Oh.
Which Fravor just like laughs at because he's like, it's a training mission. My missiles don't come off the plane.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing too, is like, because they knew of these sightings were happening all the time. Like, they were very aware.
Control knew, but no one else besides like the Princeton
and they
knew
were just
that this was
sending
happening.
these poor people up, like, with no weapons, like no defense at all, just like,
yeah, they're like weapons. He explains it as like it's a hollow missile. He's like, you'd have to take it off with a hammer. Like, I can't do anything with my plane. Right. And he's like, the Control explains that they have to cancel the training mission because there's now what he calls a real world vector. Basically, there's something out there that they have to go and try to intercept about 60 miles away from where they're supposed to be going. And this is when Control explains what's been going on for the last couple weeks, because Fravor says he assumed it was like a drug runner or something.
Yeah, that's like a thing. I guess they have like visuals on drug runners. Like, they have like this whole system in place, I guess, to like monitor and track like
drug
drug
it's like
runners
off the coast of Mexico. So that's like his first assumption, and Control is like, all right, like for the last 2 weeks, and like explains what's been going on and how one of these objects is up there.
Yeah, exactly. They're finally like coming clean.
And I feel like they still weren't like concerned. They were just like, yeah, like we haven't been able to get good visuals on these because our radar can't physically track them for some reason. So why don't you guys go up there and just try to see what it is? And so,
right, exactly. Like, again, these poor people.
Like these poor people have no idea what they're getting into.
Like fucking Independence Day shit, you know? Like Will Smith fighting the aliens. Welcome to Earth.
Welcome to Earth. It's still the best. It is the best scene of any movie ever. From the best movie of all time.
President we really deserve.
No, the president we need, not the one we deserve. So basically, it's like 2 by 2. So they've got Fravor and like this other jet plane is out there, and in each of the 2 planes there are 2 people. There's like the pilots in the front, and then like the weapons, whatever.
It's like
in the
a guy,
back.
like a co-pilot in the back, like doing all the controls.
Yeah, I had to
shit.
look up so much military terminology.
I don't know. It sounds so complicated, and
there's 4 guys. All right, so there's 4 people up there. One of them is Fravor.
Right,
and they get out to about 20,000 feet, and he notices like something in the water.
He sees it with his eyes first, right? Because
Yeah,
he's like
right.
at that point where it's like, okay, so 20,000 feet's not that high. Like, you can still see, like, you can tell, because he says it was like about 40 feet long. Like, it wasn't like.
No, this was what he notices first. He says is in the water is he said it's a perfectly clear day. The water is blue and clear as can be, and he looks down.
There's no
and
like white caps.
Sees what looks like it's like a rock is under the water. Something like the water is breaking over this massive cross-shaped object in the water. And he's looking at it like what the hell can that be? Like, something's coming up from the water. And
oh shit.
Yeah, and at the same time that's happening, he says that like one of his other
Bros.
well, he says it's about the size of a 747, so it's massive. And while he's looking at it, one of the other bros up there is like, hey, do you, and he says like at the exact same time, he cuts him off and is like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And looks down and sees hovering over this object is like what he describes as like a white porcelain like tic tac like object bouncing around it like a ping pong ball in a glass is the term he uses.
That's where I was confused. So it was so the tic tac was hovering above another object that was in the water.
Whatever it is in the water.
Holy shit.
Is in the water. And this tic tac is just bouncing erratically around it. Like I can't stress that part enough from looking into this. Like, you know, planes and how they move and how everything we have moves. This thing is just going back and forth, like left to right, up and down, just like checking out the wings, checking out whatever it's doing around this object. Again, like a ping pong ball in a glass, just crazy ass shit.
Not a care in the world.
Not a care in the world. He's just dancing like no one's watching. He does not care. And so Fravor at first is like, is it a helicopter? And then looks down and sees that there's no rotor wash because, you know, helicopters like pick up water and stuff. There's no rotors to begin with. There's nothing. It's completely smooth. So he goes to check it out. I guess he's just like the bravest of all of them. He's like, all right, guys, do you guys hang out here? I'm going to go down and see what the hell this thing is.
I would. Would you?
I definitely would.
I would be
You're
like,
already
what the hell
out
is
there.
that?
You don't know.
Yeah, what am I going to do? Like,
is it going to come up to you?
From
Are you
it?
gonna...
Yeah. And like, if you're in that kind of profession, like, I feel like you've made peace with the fact that you might die. Like, you know, like you're just going to be more risky than like the average person. Yeah. You know, so yeah, you're going to go check that shit out.
I wonder if you'd be super aware in this time that you were like getting ready to die, or if at this point the adrenaline is just pumping through you so much that you're like,
I feel like it wasn't even like a second thought. It was just like,
oh, what is that?
What is that? I need to go see it. Like,
and you also don't have the forethought of being like, oh, that could potentially be aliens. I'm going to go check it out. It's just like, oh, what's this? I'm going to go see.
Yeah, of course. I don't think his first thought was aliens. I think it was just like, what the hell?
So this is the part of the story specifically that freaked me the fuck out. Like, I straight up wanted to sleep with my lights on when I was recording this. Like, I was so scared by this point. So he starts descending to check it out, and he is circling it to descend. So like you can think about it like a clock, and he's like, he says that he was going around like the 8 o'clock position and that's when the object, this like little white thing, notices him, he says, because it turns suddenly and like points its nose in his direction and starts ascending. But it's ascending at the same rate that he's descending. So imagine him circling it to descend, and it's ascending him.
Yeah. It's like mirroring him. It's like doing what
mirroring his exact object.
Like
so he says like he's at
doing.
the 8 o'clock position, it's at the 2 o'clock position, and they're just rotating
they're like doing
around each other. They're like a dance, or like
it's like this town ain't big enough for the two of us kind of thing, like a duel.
Starts dueling. He says like cat and mouse. I imagine it's like a little kid like running around a table or something, like tag. Like they're doing this to each other, and he's obviously like, okay, fuck this. So he tries to like adjust his position to like move his nose and like cut across the circle really fast. And what he claims is like a very aggressive move. They're basically dogfighting, like he says.
Right.
And as soon as he attempts to do that, it like changes its position and cuts him off and just shoots right past him out of sight.
Yeah, it's just gone in like a second. Yeah, it's gone.
And of course, he calls up to the other pilots and are like, do you guys see anything? What the hell was that? Did you guys see that? And they're like, it's gone.
Right.
It's fucking gone. Like, just, he says that like the strongest jet we have, the fastest thing we possibly have, you would see it disappear on the horizon for about a minute. And this thing is just gone in a second.
Doesn't abide by our bullshit physics, man. But yeah, but then doesn't it like appear again, like 60 miles away or something? So like it like knows where they were going? Yeah, they call through to their control and are like completely weirded out. They're like, guys, that was really creepy. We're coming back. Don't know what just happened. And this is like 30 seconds later, he says, report back. And they're like, you're never going to believe this. It's at your... What he says is like a cat point. It's basically like where they were supposed to, it's where you meet up before you fly out, and like kind of like your like meetup point, and it's there. Yeah, it was just like, which is a gotcha,
top
bitch.
secret like undisclosed location.
Yeah, you can't hide. Can't hide from
How
them.
did it know?
They know. They're like a stalker ex-girlfriend or something. It's like
Yeah.
they know your every move before you even do.
Yeah. They get back to base and I guess he starts talking to his buddy Chad Underwood about
Chad,
this.
bro, Chad. Hell yeah, Chad.
Hell yeah,
Chad's
Chad.
the broiest of them all. He's
has
the
to
ultimate
be.
dude's rock. He's like, oh, fuck that.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna
Fuck
go.
that.
He literally says, he's like, I'm gonna go see what this is all about.
I'll go teach him. I'll go tell him what's what. He's like, nobody fucks with my people.
With my David Fravor.
With my David Fravor. Yeah.
Yeah, so Chad goes up there. Sorry, Pilot Underwood. I don't.
No, he's just Chad.
Okay, so
Anybody with the name Chad is just Chad. Like, you don't deserve a last name. I'm sorry.
yeah, that was
You haven't earned it. You gotta overcome Chad first.
well. The thing about Chad's fighter is that it's equipped with an infrared camera, something that Fravor did not have.
Right. Okay.
So he takes his radar up there and tries to lock the target. And here's where it gets really crazy. It couldn't lock the target. According to the radar, it doesn't exist. Like, it could not get a hold of it, and it kept jamming. And you can see this in the video. It's like at 99.9%. Basically, it like can't get to 100%. And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know how these infrared cameras
It
work.
looks
but
like it's in the middle, but yeah, it's not like perfectly locked, right? It's like
No, so the experts say that it couldn't automatically catch the target because it's not there. And what that means is that it's actively jamming the radar. It's not like
Yeah.
a passive jam. It's like specifically not allowing the radar to catch it.
yeah, he was like, don't
Just let me be.
leave me alone. I
So-
just want to look at you guys and stalk you guys, and I don't want you to do anything in return.
So Chatty Boy goes and he like manually locks on the target, like tells the radar what to focus on and manages to lock on it. And that's the FLIR video that we have. You can look this up online. Like, it's all up on YouTube. It's
Yeah.
all public videos. You can go and find it right now. What you're going to see is a white object in the middle of the screen surrounded by a bunch of black. That's because it's an infrared video.
Right.
It's just the only thing on the entire screen that's giving off heat is the white object. Just fucking
Yeah, but it's
nuts.
not. But there's no like exhaust. You know, like there's
Nothing
no
around
like.
it.
So basically, it's like just the object is hot, but there's no hot coming out of it. You know what I mean? Like
No.
there's no plume. There's no like. You know, chemtrail thing. Like, there's nothing coming out of
No
it. You know?
chemtrails.
No chemtrails. These guys are, you know, they're environmentally conscious. You know,
Laura's been living in Joshua Tree for a little while, so she's real in tune with those chemtrails.
I've seen a lot of these. You know,
Again, no plume means that there's no exhaust. Like, the heat around this thing is non-existent. Nothing we have moves like that.
right?
There's no way that you can stress this point enough. There's no craft on Earth that moves in a vacuum like that. It is manipulating some other type of medium to get around.
It's just really, you know, it's just we have this attitude. Like, everything is so, not us, but I just feel like most people don't care about this as much as they fucking should. You know, this is a huge deal. This is everything. This
Well, I
is.
think people are like, oh, like, it could be anything. It could be like, you know,
People are
drones
so
or like
into
balloons or like just
discrediting
just
it.
pay attention.
Yeah.
It's not those things. That's crazy.
But why do we have this drive to like discredit something that's so wild
it's
like that?
purposeful because the government has been purposely
Oh yeah.
trying to spread disinformation for
Yeah.
decades.
Is that Project Blue Book?
Oh God, that's definitely for a later episode.
Yeah, we'll get into
But there's
that.
a reason that you hear about these UFO stories and you associate them with Bigfoot and ghosts and anything else, and it's because they want you to.
Yeah. No, they had to cover their ass because it was just like, but it's stupid
Because
though
it's
because it's like
terrifying.
the government works for us, okay? Like we employ them. Like it's like our, you know, like we are their boss. You know, it's
No,
like
totally.
some shitty employee being like, I'm not going to tell you what I did. It's like you have to. You literally
You
have
must.
to. We pay you to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm real mad about it.
Tell them.
I'm gonna go. Why aren't we like marching in the streets for this? You know,
I'll march.
it's go fucking march. It's like the storm Area 51 was like a good idea in theory. It was just like poorly executed. We should do that, but like real. Like,
Yeah,
you know.
and we'll cover it on later episodes, but there are better places to storm than
Yes,
Area 51.
right.
That is old news. There's nothing at Area 51
Right.
for damn sure.
And it's fucking stupid. It's just like a bad way to do it. It's like, I don't know. It was just a meme. But anyway, yeah.
So this is not the only video. There are 2 more videos that were released in this report.
Right.
Both of those videos take place on the other side of the U.S. off the East Coast. Also taken by naval pilots.
Yeah, Fravor like talked to them too. Like he was like in touch with all the other pilots and stuff there. I
Yeah,
guess.
because I mean, Fravor talks a lot about this, how he was like, everyone's embarrassed to come forward because what are you going to do? You are a well-respected person within the military and you're going to go over and be like, oh yeah, I saw some aliens. Like he says it like as soon as they got back to base, as soon as they got back, people started making jokes.
Of course. Yeah, they started playing like Independence Day like on the, ship movie.
Like,
screen.
haha, what'd you see out there? Fuck you, I saw an alien.
Yeah,
like,
it's
stop.
like a
This
big
is
deal.
scary shit. So off the coast of, I don't know, I guess the entire East Coast, they keep saying.
Off the coast of the East Coast.
We're fast forwarding here to around 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
We've got Navy pilots seeing multiple objects. And by Navy pilots, we're talking like 60 to 70 people.
Mad
60 to
Chads.
70. All the Chads.
They're
Every
all
Chad in
Chads.
the world
Yeah.
has seen these freaking things. There's so many reports of these objects just that the Navy had to release a statement to all of the airmen telling them to look out for them because there's like one report of someone coming in within 50 feet of one of them. I mean, this is dangerous.
It is dangerous.
Lethal.
Yes. And the fact that, and again, just going back to the active jamming of our radar, which is technically an act of war. Yes, it's very dangerous.
Yeah, because I mean, there's some people that aren't paying attention.
But why? I guess why haven't we shot at them though? Like, why haven't we? Like, do you think anybody has done that?
No, I don't think we've been able to. I mean, we don't know when they're going to be there, and when they are there, it's like, I mean, these things aren't right in front of your face. They're like 20,000 feet away.
Plus, I think you're just suspended in disbelief. You're just like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like, I don't think your first thought is like, let me kill it. It's just like, what? You're just marveling.
It's also like if you're looking at these videos, they're going so fast.
Yeah, that's true.
So fast.
Right.
They're also not all Tic Tacs off the East Coast. I think it's like the Tic Tacs we keep seeing off the coast of.
Yeah, there's different flavors.
One description that keeps coming up is, it's super weird. It's like a cube inside of a beach ball. If that doesn't make any sense to you, it also doesn't make any sense to me. But that's what they keep describing this as.
I feel like
It's
I
like got
had
an
that
aura.
toy as a kid or something.
No, you didn't.
I definitely had something that was like a beach ball with something inside of it. You didn't have something like that? It was like a thing
with the glitter and it was like shaky?
Yeah, it was confetti
totally.
or something.
Yeah.
I think it was a cube with confetti and then in a beach ball.
This is
It was just that. Case closed. Take that, atheist.
This is like multiple levels of disinformation. I feel like we are now disinformation agents.
Haha.
I don't know how this happened.
Keeping people on their toes,
So our gimbal video.
Oh god, the gimbal video. Yeah. Okay. This whole thing is scary.
I mean, okay, so you've got the USS Theodore Roosevelt. It's another carrier strike group hanging out there. And the gimbal video is one of the videos that comes from this group. If you guys go online and you watch this video, it should scare you. If it doesn't scare you, you have no idea what you're looking at. You see the wind moving in this video at 120 knots. If you're confused about that, you can turn the sound on and the pilot says the wind is going 120 knots. What the fuck? So
yeah. Wait, is this the one where he's like, "Ayo,
No.
got it." Wait, what is that? Because that one's
no, let's go
I hate
fast.
It. Oh, that's the go fast one.
We can talk about go fast real fast because that's
so
all
annoying.
the video is. There's no other information. It's just this object moving super fast across the ocean, screaming across the ocean as fast as it can go. And there's no sound in the video. And then you watch the pilot manually lock on the target and they all just go "Hey, did you just catch that?" And he goes, "Yeah, I fucking got it."
Roger. They're troubleshooting as soon as I get
He's like so excited. He's like, oh, got it.
You ever get like a room full of Chads to catch an alien? That's exactly what this is.
Yeah, it's like somebody like landed a flip cup, like cup or like beer pong. Like
They could have caught an alien. They could have just won beer pong.
Enthusiasm. Yep.
No, so the gimbal video is actually, it's much creepier. You've got the object like kind of floating above these clouds.
Yep.
And so again, the clouds are going
That
at
one's
100.
not a Tic Tac though. That one's like a weird like bulbous one, right?
Yeah, I mean the way that they describe it is like looking like there's an aura surrounding
Yeah.
it, and that's exactly
Right.
what it
It
looks
doesn't
like.
look
It's
like the Nimitz one.
creepy. And so while it's just floating there, again, this is an infrared camera. There's no heat signature on anything around the object. So somehow it's floating at 120 miles an hour with just seemingly so simply, just no worries at all, just hanging out, no propulsion, no nothing. And then it turns onto its like belly forward,
Yeah.
just completely turns
Into
and then
the fuck me position.
okay. Yeah, we'll call it that, I guess. And then it, from that position, just takes off, which is like, goes against every single thing
my
we
God.
understand about physics and aerodynamics. It should not be able to do that.
Ugh.
And it's just
Okay,
gone.
not only is that's super creepy, but that's not the only creepy part. This wasn't captured in the video, but everybody that witnessed it said that there was like a V formation of other objects around it.
Yeah, there was like 5 other objects in front of it. And like,
Yeah.
it's just the way that these cameras work is you can only catch one at a
Yeah,
time.
yeah, you can only lock onto one thing, yeah.
So this is like a group of objects out there just hanging out.
Wait, what's the one with the like the pyramid shaped ones or the triangle ones? What's that one called? Do you know about that one?
Those are like more like recent UFOs.
It's like very recent.
Yeah, no,
Those ones are wild.
we're continuing to see UFOs every single day. This isn't like I feel like the way these reports make it sound is like, hey, we had 3 UFOs encounters. Like this is constant.
This is every day.
Like,
yeah, I mean that's what they've
every
been saying. Like in the
day.
Navy, like this is a
They're
daily
going up
occurrence.
there.
Yes,
Yeah,
like so
and
be
seeing
prepared.
UFOs.
Right.
Still to today, this isn't stopping.
Oh my God.
It is really scary. And again, with the gimbal video, the way that it like rotates belly forward into the fuck me position and takes off is exactly what Bob Lazar had described 30 years ago.
good old
Again, we go back to our good old
Bobby
Bob.
I love Bob
Like,
Lazar. He's
yeah,
a
this
simple
is like
man.
this. So for anyone paying attention, this isn't news. We've
It's not
known.
news. Yeah.
We've known. And I think that the
They've
most
been
interesting
hiding this shit for like 70, like at least 70 years. At least.
I mean, it goes back to around World War II and Roswell is like when we first really started reporting on these incidents. And like, yeah, like since then, the government has been like trying to hide it from us.
Yeah, just fucking gaslighting us, being abusive, like psychologically abusive to us, you know? Like,
Her.
God, we know what we fucking saw, all right? Stop.
And Fravor, he has a really good point with this that I think is important to note, which is that, you know, people say, how do we know it's not a different country that's doing this or some other nation? And it's like, okay, first of all, you haven't been paying attention at all. But he makes the point to be like, you know, they let us go up there, which means they let them continue to do the training exercises, and they're not concerned. I mean,
Right.
think about
Why aren't they concerned?
what that means.
Why are they so confidently sending people up there?
Yeah.
Like,
So you've got this, you know, he explains they are white, rotorless, no wings, no markings, just continually outperforming every single type of craft we have. Why would the government not be afraid of that? And he explains, like, you know, if you had a Chinese flag on the side of it or a Russian flag on the side of it, that would be terrifying. But there aren't
we would take
any.
it fucking seriously.
Yeah.
We would be like, okay, wartime.
Exactly.
You know?
But there's no markings on them. And the
Right.
government does not believe this is a foreign nation.
No.
If they did for a second, they wouldn't let people up there. Also, I mean, another good point to mention is that these reports have been coming out, at least from the video, the evidence we have, 2004, Imagine being a nation that has figured out an anti-gravitational propulsion system in 2004. And here we are in 2021, and there has been no technological advancements from that.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like the fact that, like,
It would
we've
change our
known about
world.
this. Yeah, we've been doing it. We would 100% have that released by now. It would be so profitable.
Even on
it
the
would
smallest
change, like,
level.
just travel, just travel in general. Like,
And we've been in wars since then. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
the U.S. has continually
we
been
love
in wars.
showing off our
and we've
shit.
never used it.
Exactly.
Are you kidding?
Whatever we have, like, that's what war is all about. Just, like, showing how big your dick is, right?
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
like the fact that we haven't done that yet is pretty alarming, because we love to show our dick, dude. We love it.
Yeah.
Just look at it in its veiny glory.
Okay, great.
What about the one? It's more like an orb. It's like traveling above the water, like screaming across the water, and then it goes into the water, and then it comes out as two.
Yeah, so
What is
there's
that one?
I don't know the name of that video, but there's a lot of reports of objects, especially off the coast of like San Diego and Mexico.
Yeah, it's really
dipping
popular
in and
around
out
there.
of the water. And this is something that Fravor specifically touched on because this sounds crazy. Like, you can't have a jet that could like dip in the water and then fly back out of the water again. But if the way that these objects are moving, they're clearly just manipulating gravity. They don't have a propulsion system. And if you don't have a propulsion system like that, then as long as you're completely sealed up, there's no reason to believe you can't dip in and out of the water.
Split into two? Actually, what I think what happened was it was going, and then it like saw its buddy like hanging out.
So there was two friends at the end.
Yeah, I think there was a friend hanging out, in the water.
like, "Come on, let's go."
just like, hey. He was like, oop. And yeah, he just kind of came and like when dogs are playing together and like
cute.
one dog's being kind of like aloof and shy, and they just need like a little, like a little Frank to kind of put a little pep in his step.
Yeah, I mean, whatever these objects are, they're clearly friendly.
Okay, the fucking scariest to me is this report. So when Fravor like was talking about this, people started, talking about it in like the Navy circles and military circles. Like, this became very popular. Like before, it was like widely known. So Fravor spoke with a Navy helicopter pilot.
Yeah, he starts getting approached by people
Yeah.
that are like afraid
A lot
to
of
come out
people are
otherwise
reaching
because
out
of the
to him.
stigma of
They're
it all,
like-
and they're like, "Okay, I'll tell you my story because you are clearly credible."
Yeah, you're not going to judge me. And it's like, I feel safe now, because you are so awesome. I want to suck your dick.
Okay, no, that they
Um,
don't do that to Fravor. He's a very nice man.
He'll be nice.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, cut that out. So anyway, Fravor is talking to this Navy helicopter pilot. I think he wanted to be anonymous, but he had an experience in the late 90s off the coast of Puerto Rico. He is like doing some kind of drill, like in his helicopter. He's like lowering a diver or something.
Yeah, there was a lot of like serious terminology involved in this story that got me completely
He's just
lost.
lowering a diver for some reason. I think they were like testing torpedoes or something.
They would like basically like release torpedoes into the water that had data in them, and then
Yeah.
the diver would go down and collect the data from the torpedo.
Something like that. Okay, so as he's doing this, like the pilot is like doing his thing, blah, 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 another day. He looks down and he sees a dark mass rising up slowly out of the water. Like, so huge. Like
under the diver, like just like
under the diver,
starting
just
to
like
rise
this
up.
mass of like darkness that's just like, whoa. And then it like slowly starts to like descend back down. And he's like freaking out. He's like, oh my God, like call the diver back up. And then he had another experience.
Yeah, so I guess after that one, he kind of is just like, that was fucking weird.
Yeah, he was like, okay.
Let's move past it.
All right, maybe I just, ate a bad sandwich or something. Like, I can't trust my eyes or something. And then a few months later,
It's like the same thing. Like diver goes down, he's getting the information. They're grabbing the diver out of the water. And so you have to imagine this guy is like, he's basically flying in like a helicopter. Like you've seen them in
not a
movies
jet.
where you can like
Yeah.
see what's going on under the helicopter. You can like see the water. It's clear, crystal blue water. And he sees the diver. They're going to extract him out of the water. And from beneath the diver
right. It's this fucking thing. It's this like just mass
Just
thing.
coming up out of the
Ugh,
water.
It's just so scary to me.
I hope this guy's full of shit.
Like, I really hope he's full of shit because I can't handle that. So, but yeah, so the same thing happens basically. The big object rises up again. He's like screaming. He's like, okay, like fucking pull the diver back up. Like,
Yeah,
it's
now he's
happening again.
panicked.
Oh my God. And then the torpedo that they're like using, it disappears like with the object.
No, he says it doesn't just disappear, it gets sucked under.
Yeah.
Because someone's like,
And they
oh,
can
you mean
never recover
it
it.
like got dropped and fell. He's like, no, it was sucked under.
So as it was going back down, as it like was just, it came up and then descended, the torpedo like went with it. It was just basically like, you are mine now.
Yeah.
And then they never recovered the torpedo. Like,
yeah.
they couldn't find it. And it has like radar and tracking shit on it. Like they just couldn't find it.
I mean, I hope that information comes out about this story, or it's just a like one crazy
I never want to
man's
go
tale.
into the
But
ocean again. I'm never going into the like fuck sharks. Now I have to worry about that? Are you kidding? That's horrifying.
It's not okay.
Like you're just swimming along. You just like look down. It's like, I would rather a shark, honestly.
Yeah, and you know, I feel like we didn't really touch on it when we were talking about the Nimitz video, but they something was in the water. Something was in the water. Everyone saw it.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
after
right.
we forgot to mention that, like
When they
after
first
that
saw
video, they like went back to look at the thing in the water. They're like, okay, well, where was that thing we were looking at? And it was gone. It was completely clear, crystal blue waters again. No signs of anything weird on the surface. And there's this is where it starts to get a little bit dirty. There's like this whole report from George Knapp later saying that like there was a submarine in the water at the same time that didn't pick up on anything out of the ordinary in the water.
Wait, like a human submarine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like they were already in the waters and picked up on literally nothing, and they did check and there's nothing there.
That seems
So
not real. Like, why wouldn't we be able to know that it's a submarine? How would we not know that?
wait, what?
Wait, what?
Did we lose each other?
I think so.
No, like there was separately already like a military submarine in the water
At the same time, you're talking
Yeah.
about. Oh, okay.
that didn't pick up on any abnormalities.
Okay. I
Right.
thought you meant like
No, I'm saying like
we
you
couldn't pick up on that submarine.
No, like you would think that like if there was some massive object coming up from the depths of the ocean,
Right,
that
yeah, a
military
submarine
objects
would be
we
able
have in
to
the
be
water
like,
would be
yeah.
like, what the fuck is that? But they didn't pick up on anything. But there was clearly something there.
Yeah, obviously. Oh boy. Yeah. All right. So
boy.
now this is being talked about pretty widely, pretty broadly. I mean, the New York Times article is like really popular, really famous now. And then like recently, what did it say? It was like the government finds no evidence of aliens, right?
Oh my God, I
But
hate
then-
how they keep doing that. They keep like, they'll release a new report where they're
No
like,
evidence
okay,
of
so we're going to
aliens.
investigate this stuff. It can't be aliens.
It's definitely
but we're
not
going
aliens.
to figure out what it is. Like, fuck you. Okay. No one's.
But then it's also like, but there's no evidence that it's not.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we don't know that it's not aliens, but like, okay, we're not saying it's aliens.
But it might be.
It definitely is.
LOL.
Stop. It definitely is.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of debunkers out there. There's a lot of people saying that like the radar was inaccurate, the like time stamp on one of the videos is like incorrect, so that means, or it's like scrambled, so that means that it's fake. This guy Mick West, he's just a professional debunker. I don't know, he's just like he's like a
Career
ufologist.
skeptic.
Yeah, he spends his life just
Saying no.
raining on everyone's parade, basically. He's just like a, piece of shit. But yeah, it's not true. Like everything that he's saying, like he's like a big weather balloon advocate too. It's all weather balloons, but it's like the fucking Pentagon has said now that it's not weather balloons.
I
Like,
love the idea of a weather balloon hanging out on top of wind going 120 miles an hour
Yeah.
with no heat signature, just fucking chilling.
Yeah.
Staying stationary. That makes so much sense, Mick West.
100%.
You are
yeah.
so smart.
Just balloons. That's how balloons work.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I've seen
if you're-
balloons before.
If you're going to,
Do you think Mick West is an alien? He doesn't know what a fucking balloon is.
He might be.
Do you think
because
he's a disinformation agent?
He's got a lot of interest in debunking all of this. He doesn't want.
I
his
see you,
people,
Mick West.
He doesn't want his people exposed. I guess I get it. Okay, another person that really pisses me off, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is really upset because he hasn't seen a UFO.
He's just jealous.
I personally think that's what it is he's like the smartest.
He wants
just like
to get probed.
Public official. He's just dying to understand why everyone else gets probed.
I know.
And he hasn't been probed. He's like, all I do is look at the stars.
I know.
I'm
What's
right
wrong with
here.
me?
I'm right here.
I think he just feels like very cool, and I think he loves like being a human. He's very invested in being a human, and he just knows that if aliens exist, he's going to be dethroned, and that's like a big ego check, you know?
It's also got to be embarrassing to look at the stars your entire life and know everything about them and never notice the aliens.
Yeah, right. And they were literally like, hey,
I
we're right
understand.
here.
It's hard, Neil.
Look
I
at
get
us.
it. It's hard.
And he's just like, nope, I refuse. But so basically what he says, his whole thing is just, well, we're walking around with these, cameras in our pockets all the time. Like, why isn't there a single clear video or clear photograph of this? Why is it all this grainy military bullshit?
I can't say this enough times. This is the dumbest, worst argument you can have.
Like, what
you
are
have
you
to be
talking
so
about?
stupid.
Yeah.
These are videos taken at night often, miles away.
Yeah.
When was the last time you tried to take a photo on your phone? These are the most state of the art cameras,
dude, 80,000
available,
feet,
and this
in
is
the
as
middle
clear
of
as
the
they could
night.
get them.
Yes,
You think
we're
your
fucking
iPhone can
lucky.
do better?
We
you
are
nuts?
so lucky to have seen this at
Do you know how
all.
fast these things are fucking going? Your phone wouldn't pick them up.
Yeah. No, he's an absolute fool, and he knows it. But
He's also said that he thinks it's like a mistake on the radar, like a radar.
he's like, oh, well, I'm thinking from a scientist's point of view. The first thing we would ask is, well, what's wrong with the radar?
Yeah,
Clearly the
so-
radar is glitching out.
Again,
they
this
wouldn't
is the
immediately, they wouldn't
best-
jump. So as a scientist, he's saying we wouldn't jump to the most ridiculous conclusion. We would first analyze the tools and technology first. You know what I mean? It's just what, dude?
Okay, yeah. So they've done that. Moving on. We have so many different videos. This is the best radar systems in the world. And also, again, witnessed in person by 60 to 70 pilots.
Yeah.
Are you dumb?
He's just jealous. He really is jealous. He knows that his whole shit is about to blow up in his face. You know? No one's going to care about his bullshit. He's the one who fucking got rid of Pluto.
Neil, listen, if you're listening, I'm sure you're listening. You're still important. Your work still matters.
Not that important
You
after
just
this.
have to stay out of the UFO conversation.
No, but another thing he says that really pisses me off too is why would they even care about us? It's what, dude? We fucking rule. We are so important. We are so cool. Why wouldn't aliens be interested in us? We matter so much. And it's, again, going back to that conversation of the nukes.
We have been using nuclear weapons, and this is something that you get into a lot where there's a correlation between us using nuclear weapons and nuclear technology and UFO sightings.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that we are dipping into something we don't quite fully understand.
Right.
And they do.
Yeah.
There could be a heat signature attached to them or whatever, and they just understand that we're about to start fucking up some shit.
Yeah, well, just to get sci-fi about it, it's that's in all the stories too. It's that is the next level of humanity. You know what I mean? It's once we've developed nuclear technology, the splitting of the atom, this very serious shit, that's us leveling up as humans. You know what I mean? So anything that's in our vicinity, whether it's aliens that live here already, they're just under the underground, or they're aliens in planets that are close by,
Deep inside Venus, the Venusians.
yes,
Yeah, of course.
they would care, because that means that
we're
we
looking
could fuck their shit up.
We're looking at planets to try to see if they have microscopic organisms
Oh my God.
in them. If we imagine us going to another planet and seeing that there was just beings walking around and being oh,
Yeah.
they're inferior, who cares, and leaving.
Right.
Obviously not.
No.
You fucking moron.
But I guess my thing is too, why are there so many? that come here. You know what I mean? Like, just for hundreds, if not thousands of years, right? It's like there have been so many reports, so many sightings. Why do they need to come here so many times? You know what I mean? Like,
who knows? I mean, who knows? But like, I hate that the burden of why UFOs exist is placed on people reporting it. It's like, okay, they're there. They're out there. I don't know why. Go talk to them. We'll figure it out.
I hope to give them a kiss one day.
Potentially, it could be us in the future.
It could be us in the future. I think it's us from the past.
What?
No, I think it is. I think, okay, so my theory is that it's us as we were evolving. Humanity like split off. So there was like a group that stayed above the crust, us. Humans as we know us. And then there was another group that went underground and they evolved separately. That's what I think. And they've been living underground this whole time. That's why you always see them like coming out of the water. Like, that's why they care so much about the nukes. Because if we fucking blow ourselves up, we blow them up. You know what I mean? Like, they live here. That's why they care.
This is a fascinating dream you had on many drugs.
This is reality. I'm going to be right.
Yeah.
And then you're going to owe me.
I feel like we're going to edit this out.
You're going to believe it when you see it. Why not?
I mean,
it's
whatever.
credible.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I don't care. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's, it's clearly aliens, but like maybe
Absolutely
it's us.
aliens.
Maybe it's Earth's core us. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just sick of everyone trying to act like it's fucking like Russia.
Oh my God, I know.
Or a balloon or a drone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's where the military industrial complex comes into play, because if it's like Russia or China, it's like, yay, we get funding now to like fight them. You know what I mean?
Isn't that something that Fravor said where he was like, I wish that I could just like pretend
Yeah.
that it had like a Russian flag on the side of it, because we'll actually pay attention to it.
That would be an easier explanation. We would pay attention, and then, but yes, everybody would like benefit, because then it's like, okay, money now is flowing to fight these things.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, we're done here. If you guys want to reach out to us online, we have a Twitter, we have an Instagram, we have a Reddit page. Those are all going to be TMTYD Pod. We also have a website that's tmtydpod.com. There you can also find links to our Patreon page. We have a Patreon, Take Me to Your Dealer.
We also have an OnlyFans, TMTYD/OnlyFans.
Okay, so that's not up yet, but we'll definitely get that started soon. We
have a MySpace.
We don't have a MySpace. Stop.
Why not? MySpace is the future, dude.
I don't know. If you guys want us to get a MySpace, be sure to comment on our Twitter page and demand that we get a MySpace. We'll definitely pay attention.
We succumb to pressure very easily. Very easily.
Ignore her. Goodbye.
Bye.